We're here on Wind River, and the first thing I do when you're doing a bankfull is pick a good spot that's got a straight line. It's a fast water channel unit and has relatively good bankfull indicators, at least on one side of the bank or the other. So we are here on the Wind River to do a bankfull, and so we were debating bankfull and where it's at, and we took a look at all the indicators that we could see on the stream, up and down. You can see there's some moss lines, there's some veg lines, there's some root underneath here, and we decided upon this spot right here where we have it marked. You can see there's a change in substrate. There's also a change in slope, which you might not be able to see right here. But we decided that even if it was a little higher, it would only be about 1/10 of a foot, so it wouldn't make a big difference. So that's where we're going to do our bankfull. So once you find your bankfull indicators, using the best side as your beginning point, we staked in the tape on that side. Then you pull your tape across the channel, and you want it level across from point to point. So basically, you want the line of the tape parallel to the water surface. And you can tell that this tape goes directly over a point bar, a gravel bar on the other side, which is also a pretty good indicator that I think we're pretty good on our bankfull on both sides. All right, now that we have our bankfull tape all set up, we're going to go ahead and take our measurements, our bankfull measurements. We need to take 10 bankfull measurements across the stream. And a good way to to do that and figure out where to measure at is to use this 10 card that we created. And this will be in your materials that you've been given. So let's go ahead and what's the bankfull, Ryan?
The bankfull is 58.8.
So we're at 58.8 as our bankfull width. That's from bankfull to bankfull. And now Derek is going to go ahead and give those 10 measurements one at a time to Ryan so he can measure the bankfull depths.
2.9.
So you'll see at 2.9 Ryan puts his staff in there.
0.7.
And he reads that across the staff, where the tape crosses the staff, not where the staff is at the water level. So that's really critical, that you want to make sure that you're measuring at the staff level where the tape crosses the staff level. Now Ryan is continuing across the stream and taking those measurements, and again where the tape hits the staff. So you might not be able to hear those, but those are the measurements from on the tape.
32.3.
And you can see that one of those measurements is most likely going to make it on the top of that bar. You don't adjust your staff. You still take that measurement across that point bar. So it might be 0 or it might be 0.1. So now that's our 10 measurements across the stream. So now we need to find the max depth across the stream channel. So now Ryan's going to come back and try to find the max depth, which might be different than what was in the main measurements. So you want to try to find that max depth along that Bankfull line. It may be the same as one of your main measurements, or it may be a separate one, but just make sure you find that max depth across that line. So there's your measurements of your Bankfull. So now we're going to go ahead and show you how to do Floodprone. So now we're going to find our Floodprone. Our Floodprone is 2 times the max Bankfull depth. So what you can do is go over to your Bankfull spot, take your staff, and you're already at 1 Bankfull, so you want to go up to the second one, and that would be 1.3 on your staff. So once you're at 1.3 on your staff, you take that, and you want to go to where it meets the bank on the other side. And you can see where it's 1.3 on the staff. You want it to be level from the Bankfull at 1.3 to where it hits the bank. So this side's a nice short one on that one. So then you take that distance, you add it to your Bankfull, and then you do the same procedure on the other side of the bank. So now we're going to measure our Bankfull on our left bank. And so Zane's going to do the same thing. He's got his staff at Bankfull, which is already 1 times Bankfull. So then we're going to go at the 1.3 mark on the staff, and we're going to go to where it meets the bank. So you want it level from that 1.3 to the bank. And he's measuring that. We've got a short enough distance we can just measure that with our staff. So that's 4.3 feet from the Bankfull to where the Floodprone would be. So we add our 2 Floodprone widths with our Bankfull width. That gets our total Floodprone width. Also, another thing that we want to make sure that we cover is our wetted width here as well. We don't need to show you that. I think you know how to do it, but we need to make sure you measure that as well with amongst your measurements.